I wanted to explain a little bit about blood as far as the antigens and antibodies thing. Um, I felt like it was really complicated at first, and then I kind of like thought about it a different way. Um, so in a person, you've got, like your red blood cells. So you have these red blood cells, right? We already learned about that, like floating around in your blood, and they may have some little things like stuck on them, like she showed us in that diagram. So for example, if I have, and these are antigens, um, and you could maybe for this purpose think about it like they're generated by your body and it's part of your body. And as far as your your little red blood cells, this so anyway, so this person has the antigen for A, antigen A. That's what they have. So if that's the only antigen that they have, they're going to have antibodies. They're like bodyguards that are going to keep non-self out of your body. So you don't want to have like non-self in your body because, your body just wants to be itself. So of all the options we have for antibodies, we have A antibody. So these are like the bullies or the bodyguards. We have B and we have RH. So these are all the different antigens that you could have that could cause a serious reaction with the blood transfusion. So that's why we learn things, these particular things. So this is a little red blood cell with an A antigen made by that body because this is its self. So in the bloodstream, you're going to have these little antibodies that will be fighting against non-self. So you're going to have antibodies. So let's, I don't know the best way to draw it, but to make it clear, but say you're going to have antibodies against B. So it's going to let's put it like a little bomb or something. I don't know. I don't want that to look like a different kind of blood cell or something and confuse you, but yeah, let's do it like a bomb. That works. Okay, so this is like a little bomb, okay? So this is just, oh, well, now it looks like a red blood cell. Okay, this isn't working. Let's do a square. Okay, so this is like a little bomb that's gonna go off in your blood if it detects anything with B, because you don't have B. You just have A on your cells. And you're also going to have antibodies against RH. So in this case, this person is A. So let's see, what would their blood type be? So their antigen, what they have on them is A. So they are A blood type. They have A because that's what they have. That's what they actually have on their blood cells. And do they have an RH? Because that's positive or negative. No, they don't. They have little fighting things that are going to attack anything with RH. So they're A negative. Yeah, now you can see that, A negative. Okay, so this person who is A positive could not receive any blood type with B or any positive blood type because they've got these little fighting things in their blood, like in their plasma, like in their body. They're going to fight any little red blood cell that has any of those things. So if we were going to talk about this person with these little blood cells that have A antigens, who could that person donate to? So they could donate to, this is really easy, anybody with A. Like it's always going to be, you could always give red blood cells with the antigens you have to somebody with the same exact antigens because they have the same setup. They're going to have the same exact setup in their body. But also, so who else has A blood other than, and there's no RH, so you could give to somebody who's A positive or A negative because you don't have anything that's going to set off a bomb in somebody else's blood. an antibody attacking this A. Because you are already, you don't have the RH on this little blood cell. You're not giving this to somebody in a blood donation. You're just giving them the blood cell. So you could give it to somebody with A positive or A negative, because if they have the RH, it doesn't matter. You don't have anything on here that's going to set off a problem. Could they donate to somebody who's a B blood type? Just a B blood type? Well, no, because that person is going to have anti-A. They're going to have a little A bomb in their blood that's going to attack this A. Because if you're B, then, and just B, you don't have that. But what if you were AB? Then you already have an antigen on your own blood cells that is going to protect you against that. That's like, conceptually. So anyway, I'm getting a little off track. So AB positive or AB negative could work because you already have the A. You already have the A. So could you donate to somebody who has O? We haven't really talked about that, but O means that you don't have anything on there. So you are going to have little bombs in your blood against A, B, and RH. So this would be O negative, because you don't have anything on your little blood cell. You just have this happy little clear red blood cell with no antigens at all. So that's why it's the universal donor, because this little red blood cell is just a little red blood cell with no antigens on it. So it can go to anybody. It can go to absolutely anybody because it doesn't have anything that their body's going to attack. And that's also why AB positive is the person who is the universal recipient, because they already have an A antigen. Their little cell has an A antigen, a B antigen, and an RH antigen. So what antigens will they have in their blood against any of these things? What little bombs will they have against anything else? Nothing, because they already have those on their own little red blood cells. So they can receive any type of blood because they already have all these things. So I don't know if this is helpful for you or not, but it does help me to look at the little red blood cell and think about, okay, what's on the red blood cell? Okay, one more thing. So agglutination, you should not miss any questions about agglutination tests and determining blood type. That is the most straightforward thing of all this confusing blood typing stuff. So what they do, so blood agglutination testing is used to determine your actual blood type. So whatever it comes back with, that is what you are. So they'll put antibodies, they'll put bombs. So they'll have, like, in a little tray, they'll have a bomb. So this is, remember, antibodies. They're fighting. They're going to agglutinate and say, this is not ourself. Okay? But this is how you could identify what somebody is. Okay, so if you have, so they'll have this in a tray, and then they have like a little control, like whatever, just to make sure your test is working, but don't really worry about that. Okay, so if you put some blood in here, you're like, I don't know what kind of blood this is, but I know that this is A antibody and B antibody and RH antibody on my little test. So I put a drop of blood, the same person's blood, in all three of these things. And if it comes back and detects that this person, we detected our A antibody is fighting an A antigen, and it comes back and it agglutinates and gets all funky, and these do nothing, and these do nothing, then you have A type blood. And do you have RH? So are you positive or negative? It did not detect that you had RH. So you are negative for RH. So this is so easy. Do not miss the agglutination. Whatever agglutinates, that's what you are. And just remember that RH, if you have it, you're positive. So if this would have gotten gloopy, then you would be A positive. Your RH would have come back agglutinated. So this is to tell you what type of blood you have. So you have A positive blood. So that's very, very straightforward. And just as a last note here, if you had an agglutination test, so the control I think is always supposed to, that's just to make sure your test works. It's always supposed to get funky. Okay, so you have A, B, and RH. And if it comes back with none of those things, nothing, nothing, nothing in your control, to make sure your test wasn't, you know, broken or whatever, or mishandled, it comes back, no, it didn't agglutinate, didn't agglutinate, didn't agglutinate. It did not detect, the little bombs did not detect, back on your red blood cell, they didn't detect A, antigens, B, antigens, or RH antigens. So what are you? O negative. And that's kind of what we went back after we played around over here, right? We took this A off when we were talking. So that's what you have. You just have a plain little blood cell, and you would be O negative. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. I know it's not like super organized, but that's the way that I'm looking at it. And I hope it helps.